What's going on, everyone? In this video we are going to be going over the installation process for the 360 PS3 swap kit. So if you haven't done it already, you can go ahead and just pause this video, take apart your guitar, and once you got both parts apart and ready to go, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Go ahead and start cutting some of these wires out of here. And we're going to start with the main board here. Let's go ahead and remove the 4 outer screws. And go ahead and carefully remove that too. Take these 2 screws out for this start and select board. Set those off to the side. And get this one, you could just rip this one off of here. Alright, so we're going to need to when you do this, you got to make sure, put your finger over the spring here. Slide that out. Just be real careful with this. Spring will fly away. And there you go. You see how easy that just slides right out of there. We're going to set that to the side. Go ahead and get all of this out of the way. All that out of the way. Alright, so you can go ahead and take the kit here, and we're going to start with this main board. Put that right in place. Get your 4 screws in there. Now you definitely do want to be careful when you're handling these boards. You don't have to be super careful because everything is already glued into place. Still just don't just fling it around, you know. Go ahead and get this board nice and tightened down in place. That's the start and select done. Alright, so now that the start select board is finished, we're going to go ahead and take the whammy assembly, and this is where you're going to need your hot glue at, because this little thing, it just doesn't line up right. So, pretty much, you need to get this so this piece is straight like this. Right. So first of all, you're going to go ahead and take the actual whammy bar itself. Go ahead and put the two little arms on there. Get your spring connected. Always do this part on this. It's a lot easier. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to see what I'm talking about here. So now that this keyway hole is straight, it has to line up in there. Oh, we got to turn this the right way. That would help. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and get that in there. Alright, and you definitely want to be careful when you're doing this part until you get it in there with the glue. So go ahead and get your whammy bar back in the guitar. Alright, so now you see this little plastic piece right here in the back prevents it from going down all the way. You're just going to want to grab your pliers, just yank it out the way, break it off. It's unnecessary. You could actually probably do that before you put the whammy into the guitar. Probably be a little bit easier. There we go. So that's in place. Now you see what the problem is this is going to move around. And while it might not be a problem at first, over time from that happening, this is not something that you want. So this is where you're going to want to go ahead and grab your hot glue gun. Make sure that it's sat down in there all the way. And just go ahead and squirt your glue in there. All around the whammy bar. Let's get it all over the actual potentiometer. And once you got a giant glob of glue under there, you're just gonna pretty much hold it in place, let it dry. It'll take a minute or two, but just make sure that you hold it down until it's dry enough that it holds it in place. You know, and if you feel like you might need some more glue, it's not like it'll hurt it. So you can see I'm just squirting some extra down here under this side, just to really secure this thing in place. Just gonna go ahead and let this dry, same as before. Alright, and Once it really stops moving around in here, like you see, it's not really moving too much. You know, you push the whammy and the actual potentiometer doesn't move around anymore, then you're good to go. So we are almost done here. We're just gonna go ahead and grab the fretboard and take these 2 screws out of here. Slide that out of there. Set this off to the side. So now, you're gonna want to take your fret buttons. Go ahead and drop these in. Get your screws nice and tight. And at this point, let's go ahead and slide the 2 halves together like so. You're going to want to tuck your wire in here. Make sure that it's not over these screw holes. Now this is where hot glue gun is going to come in handy again. I'm going to spray that right down in there. The whole point here is to hold these wires in place to keep them away from this. Just go ahead and hold these wires down in place until this dries. Alright, now that one is good to go. And now at this point, you're going to want to take your USB cable. Go ahead, pop the rubber band off. And now what I like to do on the guitars that I make is this little Ethernet port right here. Just grab it with your pliers and yank it off. Just watch out because these little things are kind of sharp. Just go ahead and snip them out the way. Now we're going to take our cord here. Go ahead and get them plugged in. Actually, what I also like to do is go ahead and loosen this screw on the right side here. And take that out for a second. Lift that board up so you can get the wire on the underside of it. And drop your screw back in there. Now you see this, it's tucked out of the way and it's kind of like it can't come out of there, you know. Now we're going to want to take your hot glue gun again. Go ahead and drop some nice globs here right over your cord. And same thing, just going to hold this in place, let it dry. Alright, now that your cord is all glued in place, you're going to start with the back of the neck first. Always. Go ahead and get them on there. Just gonna move this stuff out of the way. Don't forget about these for the video purposes. I'm not going to put those in. Alright, now here, you see like this, how this wire is sticking out just a little bit. You just want to kind of nicely tuck that in off of the side of the guitar. Make sure that it's inside the actual guitar. And start getting your screws back in here. Just like that, your guitar is done. Now as far as the faceplate, if you left the faceplate on when you took the guitar apart, I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't really make a difference. But realistically, you can put the faceplate on before you slide the neck over and like connect it all together. But let me show you how you can get this on here, because you don't really want to. You don't want to take the neck off. So you see how I just kind of popped it under there. You just want to kind of force it in there. Just like that. See how it slid under? And then pop the little legs in. Just like that. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and switch this thing over, get on some Clone Hero, test it out, see how we're running. So, one important thing to note is the stiffness of these buttons and how they feel. Like this right here is very stiff. So what you do for this, you're going to take your Torx bit and just loosen these two screws a little bit here. So you see how much nicer that sounds now. Loosen the top one, just loosen them to feel. You know what I mean? Like if it feels too stiff at the top, loosen the top screw. If it's too stiff at the bottom, loosen the bottom screw. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Sometimes the guitars are just perfect right off the bat. Sometimes you have to adjust the tension. Really just depends on your specific guitar. Well, let's go test this thing out. Alright, once you get your guitar fully put together, you're going to want to go ahead and plug it into your computer. Go launch up Clone Hero. As soon as you get in the game, right at the main menu, you're going to hit the space bar. Hit assign controller, hit running on your guitar, hit yes. Go ahead and play a song. Test it out.